What's good? What's good? What's good, people? What is good? We are back again for the third one that we've done this week, guys. Welcome once again to another live interaction reaction with your boy, Mr. Leaks. On this here, BRBP TV, Be Real, Be Positive Television, brothers and sisters. We're gonna actually get to that vibrations right there. Of course, you know it rules already, where I'm gonna wait for 10 minutes and then I'm gonna finally drop the video in question, as you can pretty much see on the screen right there. But guys, let me just go into this stuff and organize it so that everything works out fine and dandy. Yes sir, welcome. Of course, you guys can let me know where you guys are watching from. You know, I tend to usually do this stuff right there. Hopefully you guys having fun when it comes on to these interactions, these live interaction reactions that I am tending to do right there. It's a bit tasking, but I definitely do love to do it, no doubt about it. And of course, I'm just setting up some of this stuff right there. Where are you guys watching from? How many of you guys? 4 of you guys are in the building at present. Where are you guys? 5 now. Where are you guys watching from right there? Of course, I'm your boy Mr. Leaks. For those of you who are pretty much new to this channel, definitely, if you've not done so, guys, subscribe and turn on that post notification so you can get the latest vibrations right there. Now, guys, you might be seeing my scenery might be looking a bit different. That is because Domlek take lights, man. And in fact, I'm actually uploading a video right now when it comes on to that situation. We actually did a vlog of Domlek taking our lights, man. I actually did a vlog on that, and I'm actually uploading it right now as we speak. So I'm just gonna get it right there. Let me see where it's at. Sometimes this thing puts these videos out there and I have no clue that it dropped, man. So Domlek just randomly. Yes, guys, I'm actually uploading it right now on the Mr. Leaks Vlogs channel right there. It's entitled Domlek Just Take Lights on Us and Having Us in Darkness. This interesting thing about it, guys, we were not even part of the schedule, man. I just checked it a number of times and we were not even part of the schedule. These people just take lights on us as if, who are you guys? You know, who are you guys? Let me put this thing. Yes, man. So I'm uploading this stuff right there, and I will definitely be sharing it to you guys as well, so you guys get to see the whole scoop, man. I tell you, knowing that you have a video to do, brothers and sisters, at the time when they took the electricity, I just finished the reaction of the Mr. Leaks Reacts channel, guys. I'll put that in the thing as well. But I just finished do that reaction, guys, and then as soon as I finished it, about like 5 minutes later, bam, electricity go. Now I check into me, my electricity good. Yo boy, good on electricals, you see me? But when I really check in, but to me, I do hear nothing outside. And when I open the door and I look outside, guys, are darkness. Darkness pick up all of us, man. And I find that to be unfair because Domlek wants to talk about load shedding, and it seems like they're just having fun doing this stuff to us. They're just taking our lights and, you know, oh, well, complain. Well, all you can do is complain. What else you gonna do? I don't think that is fair at all when it comes on to what Domlek trying to do us, man. Domlek, you just a meanie. Domlek is just a meanie. A wicked meanie, Domlek. A meanie. Yes, man. Domlek, I was in darkness. I'm actually doing the thumbnail of it right now, guys, so I can put it out there for you guys. Domlek, how are we? I don't know why Domlek like to do us that for. What we do Domlek like that now? Why Domlek hate us like that? Huh? Domlek just hate our gods, we boy. Domlek. I just hope they do take lights during Christmas time, because, you know, that would be nice. To say it nicely, it would be nice. Domlek, you need to do better, man. You need to do better, bro. Because you're tweaking, bro. Let me see, where are you guys? Valde Eloy. Hopefully I pronounce it properly. Big up yourself right there for being part of these vibrations. Of course, something is very interesting gonna happen in this year reaction, guys, because I think a lot of people need to learn or know. Sometimes there's videos and information out there, and we have no clue what is actually taking place. So big up the NYC Massive. I appreciate you for being part of this year vibe. I actually know some Eloy. There's a girl I know that used to play cricket. Her last name is Eloy. Do you know what I'm talking about? Are you related to that particular girl? I don't want to call her name. But are you related to this particular one right there? Let me know that as well. 9 of you guys are in the building. I appreciate the individuals who have clicked the thumbs up button. Guys, if you're in the building and have not clicked the thumbs up button yet, please do so right there. I would appreciate that 150 billion percent. Definitely do so right there, guys. And of course, I'm actually uploading or looking to, I'm not uploading now, but I'm actually dealing with the thumbnail for the dumb leg tick lights right there on us. So yep, I'm gonna do that right there. As soon as I get the thumbnail, I'm posting it up. I'm sorry if I'm bombarded you guys with videos, man, but I'm giving you guys stuff to watch. I'm giving you guys a number of things to watch, man. You can't say Mr. League's not looking out for you guys, man. I appreciate all those who have been watching the videos and stuff. So you guys can't see that I'm leaving you guys in the darkness. I'm just like Dom, like leaving us in the darkness. You guys cannot say Mr. League has done that to you. You can never say that at all. So yes, guys, I'm just gonna give you like in the vlog that's coming up, I'm just gonna give you guys like an insight as to what it's like when dumb leg take lights, man. Especially when you have stuff to do. Dumb leg boy, just wicked boy. Wicked. We back to load shedding again. That's crazy. Dumb leg, tell dumb leg to stop it dirty ways. Whoever in charge of dumb leg. And the thing is, guys, we can actually solve that problem so easily. Just look into solar devices. What might take a little longer time would be the hydroelectricity, because you'll have to build dams and this kind of things for that. But at the end of the day, you should be able to organize that easily. I just don't know. I really don't know why. But it is what it is, man. Guys, if you're on the Miss League's vlogs, you will see this video pop up in... And it's still lighting, you know, guys. It's still lighting possibly. Well, in certain parts. You guys will understand when you watch the vlog. Right there. Okay, so I just posted it. I will actually post the link of it in the video for you guys. Let me go in my end screen so I can set that up. Let me close this one. Okay. Yes, sir. But there's a number of you guys in the building right now, man. Where are you guys watching from? There's 14 of you guys in the building. Where are you guys watching from? I will hide this one. Highlight. I'll highlight this one. And then the vlog. I'm gonna post the vlog link as well. 15 of you guys in the building. Click the thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate that right there. And of course, guys, if you want to leave a super chat or something of that sort, you can also do so as well. If you can give a gifted, whatever it is, that's fine as well. I would appreciate that. No doubt about it. Let me send the link for the latest Mr. Leaks Reacts as well. I tell you, I'm bombarding you guys with videos, man. You cannot say I'm not looking up for you guys. I am just bombarding you guys with videos, bro. Yes, man. And this is the Mr. Leaks Reacts video for today. Yes, guys. Are we past the time? Let me see. Okay, we've passed the time, guys. Just a few seconds remaining, and then we're gonna get into that vibe right there. So welcome to every single one of you guys. Why is the screen like this? Oh, I'm frightened. Okay, we're gonna get all the way back, guys, and let us get into the vibe today.
Today, the Justice Department led an international law enforcement operation stretching from Southeast Asia to Europe to the Caribbean, which disrupted 9/11-S5. 9/11-S5 was a botnet that facilitated cyber attacks, large-scale fraud, child exploitation, harassment, bomb threats, and export violations.
Before we continue, guys, I noticed they're talking about child exploitation, which I agree tends to happen, no doubt about it. But what I know is clearly happening in the United States. It's a $1.2 billion industry when it comes down to child trafficking or trafficking itself. So the United States, yes, I understand you might have some concerns, especially the individuals who might not want to believe that the government is involved in these things. But at the same time, you cannot say that you're not guilty of it. You're not saying that you're condoning it due to certain people who might have links and, making connections for them to be able to push these things. But as a result of the representation, you cannot say that you're not guilty of that as well. Valda Eloy, no mistakes, I don't know her, but most of the Eloys are related. They all came from a small village in Dalis. Okay, I think they're from Dalis though, or around that region right there. So maybe you are related to her in that regard right there. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
As part of this operation, Yun-Hee Wong, a Chinese national, was arrested on charges for creating and operating the botnet and for deploying malware.
China in the Eastern Caribbean islands today.
Something is definitely wrong there, guys. Hold on a while. I am playing this thing. Oh, okay, so it's going good. Okay, let's continue.
Is a way for infiltration closer to the United States.
When China looks at the Caribbean, it understands that so many of those states that do recognize Taiwan are there. That makes the region particularly important strategically.
Roosevelt Skerritt, in an interview he conducted, agreed with China absorbing Taiwan.
Part of the Chinese international business model is to put its people in.
Why did they single-handedly pick Skerritt? Why did they just call his name? Why didn't they call the others? But they zoned in on Skerritt right there.
In an interview he
region particularly important strategically.
Roosevelt Skerritt, in an interview he conducted, agreed with China absorbing Taiwan.
Part of the Chinese international.
Agreed with China absorbing Skerritt. In an interview he
absorbing. Hold on, let me see. What did he agree to?
That makes the region particularly important strategically.
Roosevelt Skerritt, in an interview he conducted, agreed with China absorbing Taiwan.
Absorbing Taiwan. So it seems like Skerritt agreed for Taiwan, for China to take over Taiwan. Let's continue.
The Chinese international business model is to put its people in your country, put its capital in your country, and gain a foothold in that country in every aspect of human endeavor.
The Chinese population under the CBI program will overcome or overwhelm those little islands where they'll have the votes to control the Caribbean islands.
So you're looking at literally billions of dollars that were generated through our citizenship scheme that went in the direction of private people, both outside and inside the Federation, but did not bring any substantial benefit to the country.
So
are we seeing this in Dominica, guys? Are we seeing Dominica making billions of dollars based off the amount of passports sold and the price for the passports sold? Are we seeing Dominicans making, or Dominica, or the leaders, I should say, are we seeing the leaders making billions of dollars on the sale of Dominican passports? Yet still, we are not really truly seeing that reflect in Dominica. Now, you might say, okay, we are seeing this thing in the apartments and houses that they are building. Keep in mind, brothers and sisters, if you destroy the economy and you are building houses for people and you say, hey, but look, this is what we did for you, we build homes for you, but you're not looking to actually utilize that money to create a sort of independence of the people. So even if you see houses being built and homes being built, it literally does absolutely nothing for the people, especially knowing that most of these homes cannot be owned by the individuals living in these homes to even pass it on to the next generation. And therefore, that creates a state of poverty. If that creates a state of poverty, you know what that does to the economy? You know? It dwindles the economy, brothers and sisters. It keeps the economy stagnant. And when the economy is stagnant, nothing moves, brothers and sisters. Literally, it moves from stagnant water to quicksand. And when you're in quicksand, what do? You go down. You go down slowly. You might not know you're going down slowly, but you're going down. And it's very clear to see that is what is happening in Dominica.
They have robbed, betrayed the people of their country right on the version of, we love you.
Yeah. The government say we care. Remember when Drone earlier was saying, what your mother and your father can't do for you, we can do for you. Showing that they can do better than your mother and your father. Even though they are the ones who have destroyed the very economy that you will be reliant to truly be independent. That is crazy right there.
There has been far too little public focus on the fact that PRC hackers are targeting our critical infrastructure, our water treatment plants, our electrical grid, our oil and natural gas pipelines, our transportation systems, and the risk that poses to every American requires our attention now.
In peacetime, that level of influence that China achieves commercially creates opportunities for China to advance their objectives in the region.
That's the whole reason why they're there. The reason why China is so friendly with us. And keep in mind, China is friendly with us for the objective. Now, I'm not against Chinese doing the thing. Obviously, everybody have their own agendas, just like the United States. They have their agendas that they want to push. The sad part is, in the third world countries, we consider the third world countries. The third world countries apparently have no agendas of their own. Well, I shouldn't say the third world countries. I should say some of the third world countries, because it's very clear when you look at places like Barbados and you look at places like St. Kitts and Grenada. Well, I don't know where Grenada is going right now, brothers and sisters, but Grenada seems to be, I'm not really sure. It seems like it's okay right now, but I'm not sure the direction. Sometimes birds of a feather flock together. St. Lucia is going the wrong direction from the Association of Skerrit. Grenada, I see, seems to be, I don't know what's going on there right now, but birds of a feather flock together. But it's interesting when you look at the dynamic of things, guys. We have to see what is the essence itself of trying to, do things in society where people are not able to elevate. Especially when it comes down to the economy and independence. We're not seeing any independence in Dominica. We're seeing people giving up their own daughters. Their own daughters, man. I think of a particular one right there. Bruh.
Wartime, those relationships become even more concerning, especially given how close the Caribbean and Mexico and Central America are to sensitive U.S. military facilities.
Well, let's be real. It's the United States that put their stuff in Cuba here. Guantanamo Bay? I think it's Guantanamo Bay. They have their thing. So they are the ones who put their stuff there. So
it's been like watching a slow motion train wreck, something that everyone can see happening, but everyone is tragically unable to stop.
So we'll have to look out for that whole thing right there, guys. It's coming out in January 2025. That's next month. So we'll have to look out for that, no doubt about it. And of course, most likely do a live interaction reaction on it as well. But there's something interesting when it comes on to the CBI corruption and what is taking place.
Hello, I'm Philippe Martinez, and welcome to Impact World Media. We are a new American world news company. We have correspondents in London, Paris, Moscow, Hong Kong, Dubai, Tel Aviv, Casablanca, Washington, New York, Miami, Los Angeles. Our goal is not to bring breaking news, but to conduct investigation, research, analysis on geopolitical issues, and on fighting corruption. Today, exceptionally, because it's the first podcast, I will be speaking only by myself. And I will be addressing the corruption in the Citizenship by Investment program. I will try to give you information that you, the people, never have. Information is power. Without information, well, you're being run by people that don't look for your interest.
Nope.
I will make two announcements that are very important. I'm going to make one now, and I'm going to make one at the end of the podcast. The one that I'm going to make now concerns the RICO case and concerns one specific individual. At the end of the podcast, I will make an announcement regarding action that I've taken regarding individuals in St. Lucia and in St. Kitts. MSR Media was approved as a citizenship by investment in St. Kitts and Nevis by the Harris administration. Why? Well, simply because we were making movies, we were hiring a lot of jobs, and bringing a lot of publicities in a film for the island. So it was a win-win situation.
Yeah, and that means the people actually coming to St. Kitts. It's not just saying, "Oh, we're trying to do something in the film industry." They actually came. That's one of the things I would say. One of the things I was advocate for when it comes on to the CBI program. Yes, it's a good thing, but make sure it goes to the people who actually been to Dominica. Because if you're giving CBI program, you're giving the birthright of the very people who were born in Dominica to other people. And these people don't have to set foot in Dominica. When the birthright, the very understanding of birthright is to be born in a country, and you're telling these people, no, they don't have to be born in Dominica, but they can get all the privileges that other Dominicans can get. That to me, I can't understand that. Maybe you guys can, but I cannot.
For the Federation and for MSR Media. For the past 2.5 years, we have investigated the fraud, the money laundering, the corruption in the Citizenship by Investment program. What we found is beyond imagination. A criminal network going over several countries and continents. We have investigated in mainland China, in Hong Kong, in Dubai, Egypt, Jordan, London, and of course, all over the Caribbean. Our investigation starts from the moment we were approved by the Harris administration in the spring 2022, up to now. Over the past 10 days, Mr. Bulora, the president of my company, who is a former US government official, went to St. Kitts and Nevis so that with my lawyer in St. Kitts, Mr. Damien Kelsik, could meet Mr. Denzel Douglas, foreign minister of St. Kitts and Nevis.
Back then.
They had several meetings with Mr. Douglas and his legal advisors. Those meetings were very, very important. Mr. Bulora is now back in the United States, and he has given me a full report on the content of those meetings. Based on that report, I have decided to instruct my lawyer to release Denzel Douglas from the RICO case. He's out. Denzel Douglas has discussed with my team in a very open way and has understood the gravity and the catastrophic possible scenario that could come on the country. Before we go into the issue of the fraud, money laundering, and corruption in the CBI program, I'm going to say a few words about the documentary that we've announced, The Men Who Sold the Caribbean to China. What we've done is that we have interviewed and done extensive research with some very important experts and officials that have studied for years the infiltration of the Caribbean in Venezuela and in the Caribbean and in Latin America. We have particularly researched the surge of Chinese companies in the Citizenship by Investment program and the extraordinary amount of Chinese nationals that are not citizens of the Caribbean.
No, before you continue, guys, I remember there was a report that they gave, and they were talking about the amount of individuals who bought Dominican passports. And in buying the Dominican passports, it seems like the Middle Eastern individuals have more of it. There are thousands of them that have it versus the Chinese. Don't get me wrong, Chinese I think coming in third place. No, I think the Chinese come in second place and the Russians coming in third place when it comes down to the amount of Dominican passports that are being bought. So I think they also should try to look into, well, then again, this is the first episode, so they should probably look into the Iranians, because I think there's something happening there that caused Dominica to quickly run into the e-visa, because there's some sort of connection behind it. Because I remember at that time when especially when Annette brought up that information of what was taking place in Pakistan and these places there, where they were selling our passports. We saw the pictures, we saw these things, and yet still nobody addressed us. Nobody addressed us in that regard. We saw the pictures, we saw the videos, these people were advertising, and none of the ministers could address this situation and say, hey, this is what is going on. They want to make it seem as if it's not real, like we didn't see it. I cannot understand that. Anyways, let's continue.
What are the dangers for you, the people? Well, let me give you just one quick example. St. Kitts and Nevis is about 50,000 people, more or less. You have over 60,000 new citizens. You don't know who they are. Lots of them, most of them, are from China and the Middle East. All it takes is one decision of the Chinese government for them to move in.
Yeah.
I'm sure
and
you
they
are.
can just moving into the country because they are citizens. And obviously, one of the things that I noticed the Chinese government does, they are heavily supportive of their people. Or in other words, wherever their people go, the Chinese government backs them. So in other words, if they need money, the government sends, they print their own money, in China. They print their own money. They don't really care about inflation and those kind of things, They print in their own money. And when they print their own money, they convert it into US or whatever currency that their people are in. And they build infrastructures, they build all sorts of things. They allow them to be able to take land or buy land, not take land, to buy land and do all sorts of things in the place. It comes straight from the Chinese government. That's how they are able to do a number of things, And then they build wealth and they build generational wealth for their children and so forth and so forth. So that's what tends to happen when it comes to the Chinese. Hey, if our officials decide, hey, that's what they're doing for them, that's what they're doing for them. Do the people know, though? Do the people have the understanding of what is actually happening with the very birthright that they don't even get to do certain things or to have certain privileges with? That to me is the crazy part right there.
Aware that China does not recognize dual citizenship. So you want to ask yourself a question. Why is China allowing major Chinese sales company like Galaxy, Globe Visa, to sell openly in mainland China, in Hong Kong, citizenship to their citizen?
Interesting.
Why?
Good question right there. If China is not a fan of dual citizenship, you either Chinese or you're from some other country. I'm thinking to myself that it's intentional that they're doing it this way, to make it seem, they have no allegiance to China, but they do have allegiance to China, even if they have another nationality. I mean, it's very clear to see a Chinese here. It's very clear to see a Chinese person. So, and keep in mind, they have all the right, they can always go back to China. Even if they obtain a different passport, they can always go back to China. You guys can correct me if I'm wrong on that, They can always, because I know some people who are different, they have different citizenship, nationals right there, but they go to China every year. They go to China every year. So it's not like if you reject that, they don't need visa to go to China, They have it on their face already. So that is another thing I think we need to think about right there.
Why is it that in the past year, Chinese citizens with St. Kitts and Nevis passport have been arrested by the United States government in America for major crime? Money laundering is one of them, but much more serious crime as well. You want to ask yourself the question, why suddenly last week in emergency, the deputy prime minister of St. Lucia had to cancel a passport of a citizen of China who became a citizen of St. Lucia because he says that he will harm the reputation of the country. What's the agenda of China in the Caribbean?
Well, we already know. We can see it. It's for them to gain certain things and gain land without the colonizers' way. I think that's how it is. They do so through the debt trap. They call it the Chinese debt trap. And I think Dominica is extending itself on this thoroughly, because the number one person that we owe, or the number one country that we owe money to, brothers and sisters, is China. We have billions of dollars that can actually clear our debts. It is not being used for the right purpose. And people seeing and hearing these kind of things happening, and they, boy, oh my goodness, boy.
The danger for the United States to have Chinese intelligence and so many Chinese citizens that now will represent very soon the majority of the population of you, the local of the Caribbean.
Yep, because keep in mind, Chinese have the most. I think Chinese or Indian. Let me Google that. I think it's India and then China. India surpasses China to become the most popular country in the world with over 1.5 billion inhabitants. Its youthful median age, slightly above replacement fertility rate, contribute to its rapid population growth. Yeah, I think China also has a bit of an issue when it comes into that situation because of the one-child policy that they actually have. And that's why in most places they actually want people from overseas to come and impregnate their women. You guys can Google that for yourself, and see if it's true or not. I'm telling you, they're inviting people to come and have relations with the women so that they can continue their population.
You want to ask yourself the question why your Caribbean leader have allowed this to happen. And what is their connection with Nicolas Maduro in Venezuela?
Guys, hold on a while. Before we continue, there are 30 of you guys in the building right now. There's 10 likes, brothers and sisters. Please click the thumbs up button right there. I would appreciate that. Click the thumbs up button for me, please. I would appreciate that right there. There are 31 of you guys in the building right now. Click the thumbs up button, guys. Of course, this helps to push these videos further and further out there. Anyways, guys, let's continue.
All of that will be revealed in our documentary, The Men Who Sold the Caribbean to China. We are going to first screen and send the documentary to all members of the US Senate and all members of the US Congress in January 2025. I must warn you, what we have found is explosive. Now, let's start to talk about the fraud, money laundering, and corruption in the CBI program. So where is the fraud? And how does it affect you? Let me first give you a little bit of historic, right? Because you in St. Kitts have not been able to have any real information. What you have is propaganda that has been given to the various media outlets controlled by the various parties. MSR Media, we were very happy in Nevis. We did a lot of movies. The only thing is that we got criticized by the head of the CBI program that we were paying the people too much and that it was not a good example for the other company. But then...
But wait. Why is that a thing? Why is that a thing? If other companies from overseas companies are coming to your country to do films or whatever, why is the government officials telling these people that they are paying the citizens too much money, bro? What is going on? What is going on? They are paying these people too much money, really? If I'm a leader of a country, brothers and sisters, and there are people from overseas coming to do business in Dominica, and their business is legitimate and everything is fine and dandy, and these people want to pay my citizens in US dollars or euros or whatever the case might be. In fact, I will recommend that they do. That then brings in money into the country, and that then creates surplus. I understand that some people might want to leave certain jobs to go and do other things. I understand that. But not everybody will go and work over there, you know. We can probably have a cap on the amount of people that they can employ. I also think of the sentiment of when they brought in Ross, and Ross wanted to bring more students in, and they said, no, there needs to be a cap. It cannot be more than the population of Portsmouth, so to speak. So they can have a cap in the amount of people that are allowed to work in these things. And then obviously, those who are loyal and want to stay within your business range will stay there. Because some people are motivated by money, and some people are actually motivated by actually the job that they actually, you know, want to do. They want to set a career path in. And these people, I think, will have the best opportunity of staying with you and then elevating the very company that they're working for, whether it is a government organization or just a normal business. Marvin Peter, Moose. Haven't you realized all prime ministers in Caribbean have dual citizenships? Well, bro, I can't say that that is not the case. When it came down to Skerritt himself, he claimed that he denied his, well, I think back in the day, if I remember correctly, he was denying that he was a French citizen. I think that was the case. I could be wrong in that regard, but I remember vividly that something of that sort was happening, and they stated that he has a French passport. He cannot be prime minister. And I guess afterwards they found that information out, and he said he denied, he has rejected his I'm French. He said, but we don't know if that is the case. And if I was a French citizen, brothers and sisters, I'm not going to deny my French passport. Are you crazy? You get free healthcare in France. You get free healthcare in France. You don't have to pay nothing. You get free healthcare as a French citizen. No wonder Skerritt say he can fly his children out for better medical attention, and then asking the citizens, what about them? I find that to be crazy right there. Let's continue.
At the end of 2021, Harris, Nisbet, and his wife told me that it was absolutely crucial that we shoot a film in Belmont Farm, Kittitian Hill, right? That we've shot a lot of movies in Nevis, and it was crucial that we go to.
I was there. I actually went there and had lunch. We went and had lunch there when the St. Kitts government brought us to St. Kitts for the festival.
St. Kitts, because they wanted to have a lot of publicity for the site, who, as you know, has been abandoned and was another CBI disaster for a long time. Mm-hmm. So we did it.
No wonder there wasn't much people there. No wonder.
We shot the movie, and then the government at the time, Harris and Nisbet, tried to convince us to buy Kittitian Hill, Belmont Farm. We looked into it. We were close to make a deal.
I actually know somebody that works there as well. When he said Belmont, I thought of a different place, but when he said Kittitian Hill, I actually know somebody that works there. So nice. Yeah, I actually ate there as well. That wasn't under the St. Kitts government though. That was on a different vibe.
But then, at the last minute, they told us the real amount of the debt of the site and the amount of litigation involved. We backed out. But then came a new player.
They tried to rope them into it for them to be able to buy the thing, and it was roped in litigation. Why? So that they would pay it because you're checking these guys have money, but you're telling these folks not to pay your citizens the amount of money, or in US dollars or whatever the case might be. You're telling them not to pay the US dollars because you're paying them too much? Really? That is...
Someone that I consider a friend, Len Harris. I know Len is a very controversial person in St. Kitts. At least that's how he's being presented by the government and in the media. But I have to tell you, with me, there was no controversy whatsoever. He came and he said, Philippe, we cannot make the deal. We understand why in Kittitian Hill. but here's what we suggest. And we worked on a deal with him and Timothy Harris. And I believe in, if my memory serves well, because everything that I'm telling you on this podcast, keep in mind, I can prove it in a court of law, both civil and criminal. I'm going to repeat that again. For all the lawyers and defendants and the officials that are watching this podcast, every single thing that I'm saying is fully documented, and I can prove it in a civil court of law and in a criminal court of law.
You're making sure that he has his backing, brothers and sisters. He's making sure he has his backing, so when he comes and he's talking on this podcast right there, that they won't come and say this and that is not true, not true. If they bring him to court, he has his documents to prove exactly what he's saying right there.
So in, I think, January 2022, we signed a contract by which we created a company that will be owned by my company and by the government, one of the government company, I think it's called Whitegate, if I remember well, of which we were going to acquire and develop, I think, close to 400 acres of La Vallée and Kittitian Hill to build a $1 billion resort, ultra luxury.
$1 billion resort. Wow.
For Hollywood movie star. That was going to be a very eco-friendly project that was going to create
Casa, $1 billion resort with the man say.
500 permanent jobs. We've spent a fortune flying architect from California. In the contract that we signed with the government, we were going to be receiving 1,200 shares of CBI. At the time, I knew nothing about Galaxy, nothing about CBI. I was too busy directing and producing things non-stop. Keep in mind, we have made 10 movies in 2 years in the Federation of St. Kitts of Nevis. So we were working on that. And then Mark Brantley and Sean Richard decided to make a vote of confidence against Timothy Harris. When I saw that, I said, Jesus, everything's going to explode. The government is going to explode. I can tell you, and it's also fully documented, that I tried to make the peace between Timothy and Mark. And I was very close to break a deal to bring a lot of money. But at the end of the day, those men decided they were going to go at each other, and nothing could stop it. Which is what led to the federal election of 2022. Now, during the election campaign, Mark Brantley went full on in the press, saying that the jail project was a major scandal at 5,500 shares. Now, Mark is a close friend of mine. I know that a lot of the propaganda media in St. Kitts have always assumed that my...
Guys, the reason why I want you guys to listen to what is going on there, because I'm sure that a lot of what we are hearing, we can relate back to Dominica. Propaganda media, people looking for their own self-interest instead of the country's interest, even though the people elect them to do the country's bidding. It sounds familiar, doesn't it? And if it sounds familiar, brothers and sisters, I think something needs to be done about it. But then, you know, probably people themselves also have their own self-interest when it comes on to these kind of situations as well.
Legal action were some type of political plot between Mark Brantley and Terence Drew to get rid of Harris and Denzel Douglas. I think that you're going to find out today that it's far from the truth. Now, me, I'm a simple guy. I said to myself, hold on a second. We signed a deal memo with the government to make a $1 billion project of ultra-luxury resort with a film studio, with a big American hedge fund. And we're getting 1,200 citizenship units at $200,000. And the Chinese Caribbean Galaxy are getting 5,500 units at $175,000 for a jail that costs $40 million. Now, I'm sure that if you were in my shoes, you would say, there's something wrong here. So when Mark Brantley made public the jail amount of share, that's when we started our investigation. I have to tell you, it didn't took that long for us to find out about the scam. We have collected very quickly enough evidence to prove the fraud, the corruption, and the money laundering. And I'm talking before the election. I had 2 or 3 meetings with Terence Drew before the election. And I told him, I said, listen, I don't know if you're going to win, but if you do win, you should be aware that there is a massive problem in your citizenship by investment program. Fraud, money laundering, corruption. And he said, I understand, and I guarantee you that if I get in power, I will fix it. I said, please, because we have invested in your country. He said, please, if I win, keep investing because I will need the investment. After the election, I called, literally the next day, I called Sylvester Anthony. Now that's a name that's going to be very interesting. And I said, meet me at the Park Hyatt. Literally, they were celebrating, I think it was even the day that Drew was inaugurated. He came and I said, look, here's my phone, here are the documents. I want you to review with me the evidence that I have of corruption, fraud in the citizenship by investment program. He said, no. I'm not going to blow $1 billion business because you have some evidence of fraud and corruption.
Nah.
He refused.
Nah. If somebody's presenting you corruption in your country and you're some sort of minister or something of that sort, you then denying to look into it? What? I don't understand that. Let's continue already, guys.
To look at the evidence. I had another meeting with Drew, and I warned him, and I offered him to look at the evidence. And I told him, you got another major problem. We believe that the Chinese intelligence service have infiltrated your program. We believe, and we have evidence that suggests that Yingjing is possibly a Chinese agent. Drew didn't want to look at the evidence. What he did was, I think a month or so later, he's invited Yingjing, who at the time was the boss of Caribbean Galaxy, who he knew, because I informed him, that she was selling the passport of your country at 50% of the legal price and breaking the law in your country.
Guys, tell me if that doesn't sound like Dominica. That doesn't sound like Dominica to you? When Scary them had to come and say that people who have bought passports from the people who they have approved to sell passports, if these people are selling passports for less than what is actually the rightful or right amount required to buy passports, then these people, apparently the agents, won't be scolded for it, or fired. They're saying that they will take that privilege out of the very people who have bought the passports. Dominica said the same thing too. Yo, that is that is something else. But how Drew could come and say that after he said he wants to remove the corruption, now they're about to show them the corruption. He doesn't want to see it, really. I find that very interesting.
Which he knew that I had evidence that suggests that she could be a Chinese agent. And he invited her to be part of the official delegation of St. Kitts and Nevis at the United Nations General Assembly. When I saw that picture, I had another meeting with Drew, which was very heated. And I told him, hey, I'm leaving. I'm done. He said, no, please. I want you to come to cabinet. People don't know what you're doing in the country. People don't know what I'm doing in country? We had 100 people working for us. The minimum wage was $700 US per week. We've done at the time 5 movies. And people didn't know what we were doing in the country. The government didn't know what we were doing in the country. We were approved already by the CBI. Anyway, I went to the cabinet, and after that, we had a meeting with Gus Wilkin, with my American partners, at his office, right? I can tell you what happened in the meeting very precisely. Mr. Attorney General, I'm here to file or to press, or whatever you call it in St. Kitts, criminal charges against Galaxy and Lescan. I have evidence that I would like you to review. I wasn't alone. We were with my American partners. But somehow, nobody wanted to look at our evidence. So the thing was, well, Philippe, we're going to take care of you. We're going to give you the unit, but I already have the unit. Well, we're going to give you a little bit more unit, like that you can make bigger movies. Okay. What are you going to do to stop the fraud? I guarantee you, we are not processing the illegal fraud. And he said, Andrew told me, don't believe what you hear. People have a political agenda. We are not processing those illegal applications. You have my word on that. Remember, we bought the hotel and continued to invest because Drew told us that he was training up the program. What he didn't tell us, and what he always denied, him and Gus Wilkin, that they were processing the application of Galaxy at the fraudulent price, not at $175, at less than $100,000. And they denied it. They say, Philippe, it's not true, you're hearing things, trust us, trust us, trust us. Let's talk about the fraud itself and why so many units were given to Galaxy for the jail project and how it affects you, the people. Those programs are meant to create real jobs for the economy so that you people can have jobs, well-paid jobs, and proper infrastructure. Well, take your car and drive around the country. What do you have? A bunch of abandoned CBI projects that are killing the landscape of the country.
Guys. I think maybe these people learn these things from a particular notebook or something. Because it seems like when you listen to Caribbean corruption and you put in different things that tend to take place in Dominica, you can pretty much relate the same thing. It's like they're reading from the same handbook. And I don't want to call Skerritt name and say Skerritt is the one that is the ringleader in this, considering the whole point that he stole more passports than the rest of the people. But I just find it very strange, though. I find that very, very strange, man.
Why? Why does your government allow that? Ask yourself the question. That's not complicated to understand.
By the way, guys, there's 40 of you guys in the building right now. 40 of you guys, 15 likes. Can you guys click the thumbs up for me right there? Like I indicated before, I would appreciate that right there, guys. Click the thumbs up button for me right now. Of course, that will help push these videos further and further out there. It's very simple. Just click the stuff right there. Of course, if you have any thoughts in that regard, you can definitely leave your thoughts in the live chat as well. But the reason why I'm doing this video, because I'm pinpointing the relatability factor when it comes down to the CBI program in Dominica itself. And we're getting to see and hear certain things that is happening in other countries, and we're checking about with a while. These things seems to be happening in Dominica as well. And what I'm getting here so far, it seems like the very people that the people elect to do things for themselves are literally keeping them down. And it's not just in Dominica. It is happening overseas as well. And I don't like this kind of vibes, especially when it comes down to the people, because it seems like whoever is in charge of these people are the ones causing this to happen. This is why I don't believe that Skerritt operates on his own. Well, not believe. I know he doesn't operate on his own right there. Philippe Benjamin sterile watching the vola. I get the vola. But this guy is giving his side of the story, man. And there's a relatability factor right there. Like I indicated before, guys, click the thumbs up button for me in that regard right there. New indie videos coming into the building. Yeah, definitely click the thumbs up button right there, guys. 41 people in the building.
So let's talk about the fraud itself,
Of
right?
course.
Why would the Harris administration give 5,500 shares, which is close to $1 billion to Galaxy for a gel that costs 40 million US? Well, let me explain to you why.
Money laundering. Clear. Money laundering. Clear. Just like I told you guys, sometimes when you see they having these foreign companies coming into Dominica, these foreign companies are coming into Dominica and they over-exaggerate the price of projects that are being done in Dominica. Why? So that when the money goes out, let's say the company wants $2 million for a project. They will then say that the project will cost $3.5 million. Then they will give the company $3.5 million. Then the company will get that $2 million, and then the $1.5 million will go to whomever arranged this thing. So they are taking more money out of Dominica from the public's purse, even if they are doing projects right there. So they cannot say, well, this money didn't cost this amount, you know. This is why I don't understand, why isn't there a specific rule where you get to look at certain things and say, okay, the steel costs this amount, the cement costs this amount, and this amount, and this amount. So you can actually have some sort of merit to say, okay, well, you are overcharging, you know. This is one of the reasons why I saw the airport thing. I have the airport document, you know, guys. I have the whole airport document, and it was less than $300 million. EC dollars, for less than 300 million EC dollars to make the airport. And now they're saying it's 1.3 or 1.6 billion dollars. Nah, man.
Because this structure, organized by Lescan, no question about that, and by the Queen of the Caribbean, Ying Jing, well, it allows everybody to make money. They knew that they were not selling the passport at 175, right? So they needed an extraordinary amount of share of passport to dump at a much cheaper price.
Yep. Guys, that is exactly what has been stated about Dominica as well. This is why Skerritt himself came up and say he about the whole situation of people selling passports at a lower cost. Remember when he was talking about that? Then he says he's going to revoke these individuals' passports. So that situation has been happening. And this is probably one of the reasons why when he looks at the calculation of the selling of passports and the amount of people that have obtained passports, it could be the same sentiment that has happened in Dominica, where people were buying passports at a lower price. Whereas a passport will cost about $100,000, people will most probably be buying passports at $20,000, $30,000. And this is why Skerritt them cannot say they cannot account for it, but the numbers versus what it should be sold for. Skerritt them can't just decide to bring down passport sales. They cannot do these things. But yet still passports will be sold for this kind of funds. And that is not fair at all to the Dominican people or to the country.
The contract of Lescan is paid by the number of passports sold. So the more passports he gives for a project, boom, more cash for him. Now your friends, your brother in the country, the processing agent, the lawyers, people that you call your friends, how do you think they became millionaire overnight?
Exactly. Brothers and sisters, as he was saying that day, you know what came to mind? The fact that even though they might bring down the price, you know what stays the same? The fees stay the same. So even if the passport is $100,000, you also have the fees to pay. The fees stay the same. So in other words, you bring down the passport sales to be more attractive to individuals, a plethora of individuals for them to buy. If it's at $100,000, maybe 50 people can buy $100,000, right? But if it's at $50,000, probably 200, 300 people can buy it at $50,000. And if it's at $20,000, maybe 500 people can buy it at $20,000. But you know what stays the same? Their fees. The fees stay the same. But is that right though, to do that? It's not right to do that.
Because every time they were processing a passport, or file, they were getting $25,000, $3,000, sometimes $5,000. That's how they became millionaire overnight.
Of course.
So the more passport is given to a project with absolutely no regard for the economic of the project, everybody makes money.
Yep.
So you have less
Fees stay the same. That's what was happening right there.
can making huge amount of money. As you know, we, MSR, have obtained in court, and we won every time, the bank record of Galaxy through the US corresponding bank, Bank of America, Wells Fargo, JP Morgan, I think, bunch of bank. We won. They fought very hard, them and Harris, to stop us, but we won, and we got the transaction. So now we have this transaction. Can you imagine? We have the bank transaction of Galaxy, of Farron Lawrence, of his company, of Harris, Denzel, everyone, Khan. So a few months ago, I decided to make an example of fraud, to file in the court of St. Kitts in the defamation case, because these people, you have to understand, they call themselves honorables, all of them, right? For me.
Reminds me of the House, when they keep talking about honorable members. And it's all just in name, brothers and sisters, because these people are not honorable at all, bro. The kind of things that is happening in Dominica doesn't warranty you calling these individuals honorable. It's supposed to be. That's what they are called, but it's just in name, not in stature or in character at all.
Believe me, there is nothing honorable about these individuals. So I wanted to give them a warning. And since they had the audacity to sue me for defamation, I filed in the court in St. Kitts how much Lescan was paid. We already identified $13.5 million that he was paid. 10.5 from the CBI program. So you understand? More passport given, dump the passport at a fraction of the legal price, but his contract says that he gets a bonus per passport. Boom. That's why Lescan made that structure, because he was directly benefiting that. And he was paid to his American consulting company.
So it's outside of St. Kitts that he was paid.
In America, in Florida.
But they can say that's what they did. They did this. They are able to say, okay, well, we're able to sell these passports. And the corresponding banks can say, okay, you have definitely deserved these fees, and these fees pass through right there. Also, when it comes on to getting these monies from overseas, you don't pay taxes on that because you're not a US citizen. That's interesting, eh? That's very interesting indeed.
And Mr. Khan is a US citizen.
Oh, well, that's different.
And we found out that Mr. Khan was paid by Galaxy while he was the CEO of the citizenship program. Well, it's called bribe. Whatever you want to take, it's called bribe. Now, your government has those information. Did they do something about it? Did they indict Lescan? Did they even told him to come to St. Kitts to explain himself? Good governance. We're going to find out a lot about good governance tonight. Then we found out something that put the entire Citizen by Investment program in the Caribbean in danger.
No wonder the United Kingdom wanted to take away from the whole Caribbean. But I guess St. Kitts rectified their thing quickly. Dominica probably didn't want to change their stuff at all. And that's probably why they restricted only Dominica. Now, this is just episode 1, guys. I'm guessing he's going to be talking about the rest, but he's worked in St. Kitts and he's giving the story in St. Kitts. And of course, we can see the relatability factor when it comes down to Dominica. And if there's really relatability factor when it comes down to Dominica, we don't need outsiders to tell us what is going on, If somebody is saying something and you say, but wait a while, we experience that same thing too. then you know that something is going wrong. You know.
We found out that Galaxy and Khan agreed to use a due diligence company in China. And that company is owned by the vice president of Galaxy.
Sounds like so it's like we have to do the due diligence process. We hire somebody that is also part of us to do the due diligence process. And then kind of reminds you of Scary them saying, oh, we are the most robust due diligence program. But it's very interesting to find out that you saying you have the most robust due diligence program, yet still thousands of criminals have obtained Dominica passports. And not just Dominica normal passports, we're talking about diplomatic passports. Ali Reza Monfared, Alison Maduke. How did they obtain Dominica diplomatic passports? You think it's somebody else outside of Scary them that give it to them? How did they obtain it?
What does it mean? You know how these people are, they talk about, oh, we have the strongest due diligence. Lies. Lies.
Guys.
The due diligence of all the China.
Come on, man. Come on. Come on.
Oh,
Listen.
We have the strongest due diligence. Lies.
He's talking about sending kids. Didn't the government say that in Dominica? I just said that. I just said that, Scary. I'd like to say we have the strongest robust due diligence process. And criminals, brothers and sisters, this is why I keep telling people to look at objective reality. It's what people say. People can say what they want. Objective reality will tell you the truth.
Lies.
Lies.
The due diligence of all the Chinese of Galaxy nationals were made by their own fake due diligence company. That means that all the people that have been delivered the passport, their due diligence is compromised.
Of course.
I told that to Drew and the AG. I sent him the name of the company. I sent him the certificate of ownership of the company. I sent him the organigram of Galaxy. And I told him that I've given that to the Homeland Security in the United States. And I told them, you need to bring each one of those Chinese that have your passport in St. Kitts and do a complete new due diligence on these people.
Yep.
To see who they are. Because like I said before,
they're compromised. Definitely compromised.
there is a lot of spy activities and criminal with your passport. Has that been done?
Nope.
No. Did you ask all those Chinese to come that hold your passport and verify it and have them fingerprinted again?
Nope.
In St. Kitts? No. Do you realize the danger that you're creating for the entire program? That the unit has allowed a fake due diligence company controlled by the VP of Galaxy to perform the due diligence? And you're talking to me about good governance? So we have identified how Les Khan benefited directly from the fraud, obviously. Dumping the number of passports, closing the eyes on how much they're sold for, and he gets paid by the number of applicants. We have already identified how some of your friends, people that call themselves, oh, my brother, became millionaires overnight. Like Dwyer Estefan says all the time in his podcast.
Well, who?
Overnight. Like Dwyer Estefan says all the time.
So some Astafans. So some Astafan guy as well.
Became millionaires overnight.
Doesn't that sound like the song Brothers and Sisters of Dice? Doesn't that song like the song of Dice, guys? I mean, sometimes, guys, we have to look at all the things and what is taking place overseas to try to figure out what is going on here. And if there's relatability factors, I think we need to come together and see, guys, we cannot have this happening. The very one who's causing the chaos is the one who wants to solve the very problem that they have caused. The very ones who have been selling passports to illegal people and not illegal, but criminals and all those kind of people there are the ones saying, hey, okay, we have seen our errors, knowing that it was already wrong. see no errors, and they're the ones who want to rectify it. Like I told you guys, do not be shocked that Dominica ends up losing visa-free access to the European Union next year. Do not be shocked if that happens. Only idea first. Okay.
Like Dwyer Estefan says all the time in his podcast, you know what they are. I don't need to repeat it. You can go to the list of the, and I can tell you the one that have the most committed fraud. They became millionaire overnight. Nobody cared. And everybody closed their eyes on the underselling and the fraud.
I wonder why that is.
Because they were all making a fee out of it.
You answer that question.
So local processing agent, local lawyer.
Because everybody was making money from it. So they stayed quiet. Doesn't that remind you of Dominica, brothers and sisters? Of the people where, let's say, for example, the justice system needs to be keeping justice. But maybe the justice system is also involving corruption. So they themselves cannot properly provide proper justice. They have to side with the individual that they have participated in corruption with. That says a lot.
Yes. Boom. Lots of money. Right? Millionaires. While you're struggling. While they're coming to you and say, oh, dividend, 1,000 EC. That's, you know, no, it's not even charity.
Guys,
I can tell you very precisely.
Guys, I mean, come on. When they come in and passing around and giving you $300 and $500 and a bag of cement, in St. Kitts, at least they're giving you $1,000. Well, I don't know if it's happening now, but based on what he's saying, they come and give you $1,000. In Dominica, they pass around giving you $300 and a bag of cement. Or a bag of cement. That's the relatability factor is very important here.
Precisely. That after calculating, without the fraudulent contract associated to the CBI, without the corruption, the citizen, their CBI dividend should be at least $15,000 per year, US, not EC 1,000. I can sit down with Terence Drew anytime he wants on this podcast. I have my calculation, I have the bank statement of everyone, and we can do the addition anytime he wants. So when I hear that MSR has created a lawsuit for the collapse of the program, no. MSR has exposed the people that have been robbing the citizen of the country.
Guys, boy, I don't know. I don't know how to put it again. Guys, remember when the court case, when the United Workers Party linked up with a Trinidadian lawyer and the group, their group, for them to try to find out what has happened with the monies? Isn't that the same thing he's saying? When Skerritt came and said, oh no, they're looking to destroy the CBI program. No, it's not destroy the CBI program. They're looking to find out where the monies has gone and expose the corruption that has been taking place. Skerritt is telling the public, no, they're looking to shut it down. But if you've been doing right and if you've been doing what you're supposed to be doing on a legal playing field and on a moral playing field, you shouldn't have no problem with them looking into this. None at all. But yo, guys, I mean, the proof is in the pudding.
You, the citizen, there is nothing you can do. Yeah, you can vote, that's it. But it's the same. Whether you vote that one or that one, it's the same. That's why they never sue each other. Because if one sue each other, the other one is going to give the dirt on the other one. Right? So that's it.
But this is where the people come in to hold these people accountable. But that means the people themselves have to be able to account to their own self. And this is where the root comes in, you know, brothers and sisters. We're always looking at the tree, but you don't see the root. If the root is feeding the guava tree juice, that is a bad example. But if the root is feeding the bad nutrients to a tree, what do you think? What do you think the fruit is going to look like? The fruit of the tree is going to look like. If you feed in the tree good nutrients, then obviously you're going to see the fruits bearing fruit. And it's going to be ripe and ready to eat. So it starts with the root. And the root is the people. The people are the cause of what is taking place today. especially knowing that there's corruption taking place and the people are like, wait, I want to get my own. They get in there, I want to get my own. This is why there must be a moral backing when it comes down to the people, and the people are the ones responsible for ensuring that the leaders are not corrupt or don't become corrupt.
Vote, sorry to say, but whatever. But me and my team, we are the ultimate warriors. I've exposed their fraud and corruption and money laundering and more in US federal court and with the US Department of Justice. Because this is ending. I've already won. The people of the Federation needs to understand, I already won because I've already put the fear of God into them. Where is Les Khan? Oh, he's hiding. You ain't gonna see Les Khan in the Caribbean anytime soon. He's hiding with his money offshore because he know I'm coming. You know we're coming.
He's probably in Dominica. Remember there was hiding Alireza on Friday in Dominica? He probably hiding in Dominica.
The politician, they have the fear of God too. They know how much they made. They know have their bank accounts. They would have never imagined that I could do that. No one has ever done that. And why am I doing that? Because I want justice for me, and I want to force them to give the money back. Let me give you a few information that you need to know. I think January or February 2023, again, I can prove that, document. WhatsApp communication, emails. I gave to Attorney Garth Wilkin the bank account of Galaxy. I said, here's where the money is. I found the money. Go get it. Have they done something about it? No, nothing. And I couldn't understand why. So let's talk about the famous speech of Terence Drew at the Parliament. Madam Speaker, they gave 22,000 passports to the jail project, Madam Speaker. They, meaning the Harris administration. So let me finish the speech for you, Terence Drew. Because in the last month, I have the information and the document. Let me finish the speech for you. Madam Speaker.
As he's saying, he has the information and the documents. And I remember him saying that he got the information through the corresponding banks as well. How much money has been transferred, all those kind of things there. Brings me to Dominica, brothers and sisters, as to the problem that Dominica is having with the corresponding banks. And I remember when the Prime Minister was talking about not having the corresponding banks needing to find the proper information, so to speak, so they can transfer these monies, because they don't want to be involved in money laundering. You know, paraphrasing, of course. They don't want to be involved in these kind of things, so they need to know where the money is coming from. And as he's saying that there, that dawned on me that the information most likely would the corresponding banks would have. And if the corresponding banks have that information and the right set of people go to get that information, they will know, and that's probably why they're scared them are having problems with the corresponding banks and have to try to figure out other ways to get monies to come to Dominica. That's probably why we saw. Let me leave that there.
They gave 22,000 passports for the jail project, which is 45% of the population of the country, to Chinese people that we don't know where they're coming from, and the due diligence is compromised. I have processed those passports illegally sold under the legal price by at least $100,000 myself, Madam Speaker. The vast majority of them, Madam Speaker. Madam Speaker, when Philippe Martinez told me that we have found the fact that Galaxy was using a fake due diligence company, I did not tell those Chinese nationals to come in St. Kitts to do fingerprint in person, Madam Speaker. You want to do, Madam Speaker? We can do, Madam Speaker, all the time. Because I have the full documentation to prove what I'm saying. And we're going to subpoena every government employee that was involved. Madam Speaker. So when Timothy Harris, and God knows I have my issue with Timothy Harris, but when Timothy Harris says, Drew process most of those applications, he's not lying. He's telling the truth. Absolutely. By the way, you will notice that in the investigation that has been launched by Prime Minister Drew, and he cannot talk about it because it's wide and wide, right? He said that it's pre-reform. Terence, I got news for you. For us, we have made the investigation after the reform to see how many each one of you have been processed. Let me tell you something. We filed a judicial review in court in St. Kitts. To be honest with you, I had no faith or hope whatsoever that a St. Kitts judge would actually hear the case and allow a trial to take place. Absolutely. I said to myself, I know enough of the country now, and I don't believe that their judicial system is going to be independent. So I...
Guys, doesn't this sound like Dominica when people have made these complaints? Doesn't it sound like that?
I don't know the judge, but whoever she is, God bless her, that she will allow a trial to take place in March so that the people of the country knows everything. Well, let me tell you what they've done already. The government and the Attorney General, Wilkin, came to the court. They tried to dismiss the case, right? What they didn't know is that a lot of people...
However, in Dominica, it would be successful for them to dismiss the case. For example, the treating case. Hey, I don't know how else to put it for you. I really don't know.
People are coming to America to settle their dispute because they know what I've done, right? And they give us information. We let them go, they give us information, contract, sales agent, invoice. And we've submitted those contracts and the invoice to the court in St. Kitts. It shows very clearly that for the jail project, it was way undersold. All of them. Every single one of them. So do you know what the lawyer of the government said to the judge? In front of Gus Wilkin. The government doesn't know how much the passports are being sold. The government doesn't know how much the passports are being sold. But Terence True still process them.
So he
doesn't
know how much the passports are being sold for, but he's the one processing them. I wonder if the same thing is happening with the government in Dominica on that merit. Now, what he's saying is his side of the story, yeah? But certain things he's saying, I'm trying to pinpoint and say, hey, is Dominica seeing the same thing or going through the same situation, though? Because keep in mind, based on what Al Jazeera was saying, that especially when it comes down to the diplomatic passports, these things were handed over by the Prime Minister. How else could they have gotten diplomatic passports? Be that the case, based on what Al Jazeera was saying. So the processing stuff seems to have taken place with the very Prime Minister himself. And then I'm thinking of the Lauren Barney situation where the Prime Minister was saying, apparently, quote unquote, well, that apparently she had acted on her own. Boy, I tell you.
Media was able to find out precisely how much the passport was sold for, bring the contract, bring the invoice, how much the client paid. But the government couldn't. Because I'm going to tell you something. When they're going to come to the United States, they're all going to say, we didn't know. Now, when we provided to Terence Drew the contract and the invoice of 2 sales agent companies, I honestly thought he was going to call me to say thank you, Philippe. We're going to cancel those passports immediately, and we're going to blacklist those sales agents.
That's what should happen. That's what definitely should happen when it comes down to that situation right there.
I only thought he was going to say, well, I know he's a friend, but there is a...
However, I would not, bring it back a little, I would not cancel the passports of those who were the thing, or I would try to say, okay, well, this is the amount it was sold for. If you bought it at $50,000, the individuals, the agents overstepped the boundaries in that regard. It's actually $100,000. That's what you're supposed to pay. Give them a chance for them to want to pay it or refund them their monies right there. However, there's still the fees that would need to be paid. I think if the agents sold these passports at a lesser price and people bought this passport and they still got their fees paid to them, then this fees should be reimbursed. I honestly think so, right there.
He was going to say, well, I know he's a friend, but there is a certain escrow account agent that we're going to blacklist as well. Because we also gave him evidence of fraud in the Ramada Hotel with fake certificate that the client paid $200,000. We have the contract and the invoice showing how much the contract was paid for, and the fake certificate from the lady at the escrow agent. We have also very strong evidence to suggest that Galaxy has used that escrow agent. You know who he is? Farron, right? To bribe the politician. Because as Les Khan says, they need a lot of cash. Farron is an American citizen. Did you know that? An American citizen bribing official. You should check on the internet. I think it's called Foreign Corruption Practice Act. Something like that. The goal for us was not to destroy the program. Dwyer Stefan and I, Dwyer through his podcast, and me in direct discussion with Drew, I say, look, man, your economy is collapsing, right? There is no investment that has been made in the country in the past 2.5 years, right? The people are struggling. Let me present you a plan. It's very simple. You make a statement that whoever has not paid his passport the legal price has 90 days to send the money directly to the treasury. If not, the passport is deactivated.
That's exactly what I said. That's exactly what I said, guys. When it comes to that situation, you give them some time for them to be able to pay the rest of the monies, or I would send back the monies right there. Let me see if he says the other part.
How you do that? You send a memo, you make an official statement, and you send a memo to all the fraudulent sales agents, and I can provide you the list. Make the list. It's very simple. You get 5,500, right? Government could collect $500 million in 90 days. Because they all want to keep their passport. Believe me. They all want their passport. Otherwise, they cannot travel anymore.
Yep.
Otherwise, they cannot, some of them, commit fraud and spy the United States. So they want their passport. But I said, but you got to bring them here so that you can run a new fingerprint in St. Kitts. Did that happen? No.
Yeah, there's some definite corruption going on when it comes to that situation right there. This is definite corruption, man.
So if you don't have a Christmas dividend of $10,000 for Christmas, it's because Drew didn't want to listen to Dwyer's suggestion and my suggestion. Now you got to ask yourself a question. And Terence Drew, I have supported you. I have applauded the reform that you've done. But now that I know that you have processed the vast majority of the Galaxy application and that you have lied to me, now you got some explaining to do. Not only with me, and you know what I'm talking about. Let me talk to you about the last 2 chapters of corruption level. Well, you should know something. All those sales agents in China, in the Middle East, they're making a killing. They're making between $25,000 to $40,000, sometimes $50,000 on each applicant. Almost more than the government. Let's go back now to Terence Drew. I saw his video where he announced the number. Yes, 600 million, 690, and now 220. Well, he should have explained to you why, right? Because now that indeed there is a stronger system in place, right? Because otherwise they were going to be shut down by the EU.
Yep.
Because the EU knows everything now.
Oh, yes.
Well, Galaxy took their criminal organization to St. Lucia. And in Grenada, it's going full as well. With another.
This is why I told you guys, do not be surprised. You guys heard it here first, eh? Do not be surprised if the European Union, come 2025, decides to remove visa-free access from Dominica. Keep that in mind. One of the things that I noticed as well, there's an article that I will be doing a reaction on tomorrow. Look out for that reaction on Mr. Lick's reaction, guys. And there's the numbers that they show indicating how much passports were sold between a particular time. And of course, they have the other Caribbean islands, St. Lucia, Dominica, Grenada, and which other island? Dominica, Grenada, St. Lucia, St. Kitts, and another one. I can't remember. But they have the amount of passports being sold. Dominica, of course, is at the top of that list right there. Although there's a NA when it comes down to St. Kitts for 2023 to 2024. But anyways, we'll look into that right there. But like I indicated before, brothers and sisters, do not be surprised. Sometime only doesn't, yeah. Dominica lost, a Commonwealth country lost visa-free access from England.
Another Chinese company. So Drew told you the numbers. So you're happy as people, oh, 200 million, 600 million. Let's talk about CS Global. And then you're going to find out a new layer of where your money is going. Once Les Khan realized that I was on to him, he tried to show me that he was not the only bad guy. So he met me in Saint Martin, my country, France, and we filmed him. A courageous gentleman from Nevis flew and filmed him. And he gave me the contract of CS Global, which was renewed right before the federal election for 5 years. So let me tell you about CS Global. It's a marketer. It was created in St. Kitts by Sylvester Anthony and Dave Bath. Sylvester Anthony. We'll get back to him later. So when you guys get money, you know, when Drew tells you, we collected 200 million EC, Drew, how much of that are you paying to CS Global? How much of the $600 million the year before was paid by CS Global? Because I made my investigation. And I have the accounting of CS Global in the UK. And I have the bank transaction of CS Global. It's very interesting. Very interesting. CS Global used to get $19,000 for each applicant. And then it was reduced to $11,000 after a negotiation. And for the jail project, of which they did nothing, they were given $5,000 right before the election. Why? What are they doing? Go to Instagram. They have 1,200 people that follow them. And they also market St. Lucia and Dominica, because when Denzel allowed 100 people that follow them. And they also market election. Why? What are they doing? Go to Instagram. They have 1,200 people that follow them. And they also market St. Lucia and Dominica, because when Denzel allowed CS Global to be formed, it then took them to Dominica, where they have the same deal. I know, because I have the bank transaction as well from CS Global in relation to Dominica. So basically...
So most likely they're gonna be contacting him. The court matters are gonna be contacting this individual for them to obviously find out more information right there.
While you, the people, are begging for 1,000 EC, well, just on the jail project, CS Global is picking up about 27 million US dollars to do a little bit of internet, to a little post on Instagram to say buy St. Kitts. No, they have also something useful, right? Because you saw that you got the ranking of the best program in the Caribbean. So just so you know, people pay for that, right? I have a full statement of less kind.
You never wonder sometimes where the information Dominica ranks this and Dominica ranks that. He just indicated to us what it is. We listen to him again,
right? Because you saw that you got the ranking of the best program in the Caribbean. So just so you know, people pay for that, right? I have a full statement of less kind saying that they're paying for that, and that's one of the things.
So if you want to make your name known somewhere, brothers and sisters, if you want to have yourself somewhere or make the country seem like it's something, people tend to pay for these things. Interesting. So when we're thinking is by proper merit and by proper character, which of course we find very interesting, right there, especially when it comes down to Dominica, they pay for this stuff. They pay to be known because you know that these people have a large following, or they have a large, or they have a reputation, so to speak, about themselves. So when these people, put you up, you feel like, okay, these people must be doing something that we ourselves don't know. But this is why objective reality is so important. If you cannot prove it in objective reality, no matter who posts it up, you should not believe it. Point blank and period.
Dev Bastas. So CS Global, I think I will reveal very soon who's getting that money. Because then they created CS Global in the UK, and I can tell you that that money doesn't end up in the UK. Huh? No. By the way, when we threatened to sue CS Global, they sent one of the biggest lawyers in America, Lanny Davis. So who's Lanny Davis? Top lawyer, lobbyist. Lanny Davis represented Michael Cohen against Donald Trump. He was every day on CNN, MSN, attacking Donald Trump like you can't believe it. So when I threatened to sue CS Global, which I am, suddenly Lanny Davis said that he represents CS Global for many years, that they're good people, that if I sue them, they're going to counter-sue me. Now you have to understand, when you see that the lawyer who's attacking Donald Trump all over the media and in court wants to come after me, well, I was a little bit nervous. I told my lawyer to tell him that I know he's a big shot. Tell him that I've already provided all the information to the US Department of Justice. And let's have a Zoom call in 3 days. Because I want to show him our evidence. So now for 3 days, I'm like ready to show him the evidence. 1 hour before the Zoom call, he sent an email to say that he won't be able to represent the client on this matter, meaning CS Global, and that he's excusing himself from the matter. I took the email and I framed it, and it's my office. But then we started to do a little bit of digging. What does Lanny Davis has to do with Dev Bass and CS Global? And then we realized, see, those programs, they are allowed, because you have to understand the people, the countries like the United States and European Union, they are allowing those passports to travel in their country. So they have a say that they are run properly.
Yeah.
The US Treasury is involved in that, right? Now the US Treasury have no idea of the massive fraud and money laundering to US bank.
That's
right?
what you think. That's what you think. Sometimes they allow certain things to go on so they can catch people, That's what you think. US? Boy, you mad. People and their phones.
They're going to find out very, very soon. When Harris was elected, they brought CS Global and Lanny Davis to go to the US Treasury and vote as a representative of St. Kitts and Nevis. I know we have the payment, because when you are paid as a lawyer by a foreign country, you have to declare it. So Lanny Davis votes at the US Treasury for a program that is about to become massively exposed as a Chinese infiltration. That's what I'm going to say on that. And you're going to find out more about the documentary. So Dev Bass is no longer technically the owner of CS Global because he wanted to be an official. So they made him an official representative of the country in London. Business, so he's basically like a diplomat. Now, I really would like you to meet the guy, and I would like you're going to get to meet the guy in US court. But very controversial figure, right? Accused of being part of the kidnapping of a Indian businessman that was kidnapped in Antigua, brought to Dominica with some Indian gangster from London, and then the guy escaped. But Dave Bath, and there was a big article in the Daily Mail, but Dave Bath said that he doesn't know the kidnappers, and he has never met them, and the fact that he was in Antigua when it took place is a coincidence. Not too long ago, Dave Bass was in St. Kitts. So I sent him a WhatsApp. I said, Dave, why don't you go to see my lawyer in St. Kitts? He's got a movie he wants to show you. It's very short. I have obtained the security camera where Dave Bass goes into the car and meet the kidnapper with the car that they use. So it's not a coincidence. He knew the kidnappers. I have the film, the security footage. Do you want to see it, Dave? So why am I upset with Dave Bath? Well, first of all, that structure where he cash money from Dominica, from St. Kitts. And where is that money is going? Well, I know where the money is going. Right?
Of course.
So obviously, you, the people, should find out where that money is going.
We know.
It's going to be revealed. I'm going to reveal it.
No.
One day, I don't know, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to say, here we go.
You feel it, man. Let the people then. Well, some people don't know. Yes.
We are the beneficiary. That's why I've created a news media. And that's why I'm taking them to court as well. After I discovered the evidence of the contract of CS Global, I asked Terence Drew to come to meet me at my hotel in St. Kitts with Dwyer Estefan and my dear friend and advisor, Charles Wilkin. And we told him, so what is that? What is that contract? He took the contract and he said, okay, I will look into it. Good governance, I will look into it. Then I say, let me show you the 45-minute video of Les Khan explaining who are the beneficiaries of that contract. Oh, I don't have time now. I have to go. I have to go. I'm giving you a contract that's more than suspicious. At the time, I didn't have the bank transaction, I must confess. I have a video of Les Khan explaining precisely the historic of CS Global, how much they're making, and who are the beneficiary. And you have to go? That's the good governance, Terence Drew? So I decided, with Mr. Buloa, who's expert in intelligence and counterterrorism, to go to meet Dave Bass. And we went to meet him in London, in his office. I was very polite, and I said, Dave, we've never met, but we know that Ying is the queen of the CBI in the Caribbean, and you're the king of the Caribbean CBI. Dominica, St. Lucia, St. Kitts and Nevis. You get money for doing nothing. I have a video I'd like to show you. Now you'll get to hear the bass, and he talks like a street guy. Oh, I don't care, I don't want to see nothing, I don't care. Drew is my little brother, you know. I say, Dave, the Chinese are selling the passport for half the price. Why are you allowing that? Oh, it's their problem. You know why it's their problem? Because it doesn't matter how much they sell it for. Dave gets his cut. And then whoever I know gets their cut, get their cut. All over the Caribbean. Dominica, St. Kitts, St. Lucia, it's a little bit different. So then I said, Dave.
St. Lucia probably a little bit different. No, but when them man associating to scare it, bruh.
We're gonna have a problem. Because if we're not able to sell and be treated as a competitive market, I'm gonna have a problem.
And also have transparency in it too.
And he said, well, you should go. We don't like Americans. We like Russia, India. Fuck America. Fuck America.
Apologies for the dirty language, brothers and sisters.
I told Dave, thank you very much for your time. We're going to do just that. I called Drew. After, we were in London. I called Wilkin. I told them that guy needs to be expelled as a diplomat of the government, or whatever his function is, and that I demand an apology. Again, the good governance, they say, oh, he's not technically in the government, he's the official representative, and he's the guy that gets a cut on each passport of your money, people.
That's the thing. A lot of millionaires are being made because of CBI, brothers and sisters. And they get their fees, they get their cut. They get their cut. The sad part is we do not see the reflection of that in the country. We see it in St. Kitts, even though they have their thing, but we don't see it in Dominica. Building house for people is not a representation, especially when the very people cannot own these houses that are being built for them, apartments that are being built for them. Scary them admitted this. See, everything that's built by the government is owned by the state. It's owned by the state. So if they allow you to stay in the house for free, you think that house is, come on. If they allow you to stay in the house for free, you think that house is yours? Talk against the government, Nancy.
I went with Mr. Bulloa to have a cigar, relax, and I told him, hey, that's it, I'm done. Call the American authority. He did. We flew to the United States. I provided all the evidence that the good governance prime minister and the good governance attorney general refused to watch for 1 year. And we gave them to the US authority. I told Terence Drew that I would do that. And I've always kept him informed. Always. Then after that, I think I received the very famous WhatsApp messages of from Garth Wilkin to Dwyer Estefan, where basically he confirmed his from Garth Wilkin to Dwyer Estefan, where basically he confirmed from Garth Wilkin to Dwyer Estefan, where basically he confirmed his knowledge of the fraud. But at the time, I didn't have the contract of the clients, right? And I couldn't believe it. I was like, I mean, Jesus, they tell me that that what I'm saying is not true, and he's confessing in the WhatsApp messages. I sent the messages to Drew. I was furious after him. No, we're fixing things. Good governance, good governance. Then
you claimed good governance before, which you were not doing good governance. But now you have the whole of the European Union coming on your backs. And of course, the information being sent to the United States. Now you're trying to do good governance. Isn't that the same sentiment that we're seeing in Dominica? It's like people have the free range for them to do what is right, but they choose not to do what is right until they are caught. It's kind of like a person who goes to steal. He goes to steal on his own violation, brothers and sisters, goes to steal. Then when he's caught, he comes back to you and he says he's sorry. Is that person truly sorry for their dirty ways, or that they are sorry that they got caught? Good governance, we always hear in Dominica. Good governance, good governance. We're not really seeing good governance, but it's saying good governance. So some of us are swallowed because we ate so much. Human beings are creatures of repetition. And in so doing, this good governance is being put on the people, and then, but you cannot really have the evidence to show good governance. And as a result, chaos, brothers and sisters, is happening under the people's watch. Under the people's watch here. Because they have allowed themselves to believe that maybe that is the case, especially those who support the government. They will just swallow, oh, that is what my government say. But God gave us a brain for a reason.
And Drew came to see me to Washington, D.C. And I told him, I said, listen, you're here. I mean, send Garth Wilkin. Because the American Justice Department has everything now. It's a case. I called Garth. I said, Garth, if I were you, knowing the magnitude of the problem, I would come to the US right now and sat with the people in charge of this investigation. I don't want. Why? Because I imagine the worst and I don't want to know. The same in St. Lucia. Huh? Philippe.
This is why they keep their status as diplomats. Because when you're a diplomat, brothers and sisters, you have immunity. You do know that, right? That's probably why in the last elections, carried them hurried up to ensure that their status came back quickly.
Pierre, the I don't know Prime Minister, and Ernest Hiller, the mastermind, they know about it. So your governments are not telling you that all of this is being investigated. Now let's define the all of this. What all those great honorable, no, they're not honorable, all those individuals, all that criminal enterprise that goes from China to Dubai to Jordan to Egypt to London and the Caribbean, Iraq and Iran.
Didn't we listen to the thing that stated that there was a number of persons from Iran who has Dominican passports? I can't remember what it was, but yeah. Vicky, when Dominicans realize what happened to their CBI money, it'll be too late. Yeah, that's usually the case. It'll be too late. It'll be long gone. Monies that could actually be used to help the Dominican people, man. I just don't know.
What they forgot, which I understood right away, they're selling the passport in US dollar. And you cannot get money in the country without that money transiting from the US banking system, Bank of America. And before that, it was Wells Fargo. But mainly it's Bank of America. So that's
why Dominica has having problems. You guys understanding this, right? I hope you guys understanding this.
Fraud goes to Bank of America. That fraud that all of them are part of and close their eyes. Now everyone is on a different level, right? There's going to be a level, and they will have to explain themselves. But it goes to the U.S. banking system. U.S. bank have been infected by that fraud.
Because it's U.S. currency they're using.
I can tell you that Bank of America is on full alert on that subject matter.
Oh, yes.
So you have a possible major problem with the bank. You have Chinese nationals that are criminal and spy that hold your passport, that create a problem to the US and the EU. You have fraud committed in your program where the government official, I'm telling you right now, they're all going to do what they did in the court in St. Kitts. We didn't know. We don't know how much the passports are being sold for, right? Except that, Philippe, we have, and I gave it to the US Department of Justice, all the contracts from St. Kitts and from St. Lucia that Drew and Ernest Hiller sign off on. So,
I wouldn't necessarily say when it comes down to the prime ministers, sometimes they don't know. They don't, on the basis that, hey, if I have to review these thousands of things, maybe they just, sometimes the secretary just do the stamp of the passport and, okay, this is approved, this kind of things there. However, in Dominica's aspect, I truly believe that Dominica government is heavily involved in it. Because most likely they will get their caught. Now, I could be wrong in that, but they most likely will be getting the caught when it comes up to that situation right there. And it doesn't just stop on Dominica, because remember, it's always Skerritt and Anthony Hayden that we get to see, quote-unquote Anthony Hayden. It's always these two people that we get to see. So it's like they are the final route for the CBI situation. Whereas in St. Kitts, you have different departments that do different things. The government cannot go to the agricultural department and say, hey, do this. It's not so it does work now in St. Kitts. It does work so in Dominica. It doesn't work so in St. Kitts at all.
Like I said in an interview that I had, you're going to find a lot of people that are going to say that they didn't know. And that Les Khan and Ying Jing, it was only them that did that. I have recording of, I think I have like 25 recordings and video. And Les Khan say, I'm the scapegoat. That's why he took off. Let's talk about Les Khan, if you don't mind. They say that Les Khan was fired from the CIU, that Galaxy was expelled from St. Kitts. Were they? Was Les Khan fired from the CIU? Terence Drew, do you want to give us the letter that says that? You want to make that letter public? Or did Les Khan resign?
I was going to say something about French passport, but I'll leave that there.
Which one is it? Now, we're being said that Galaxy was expelled from St. Kitts. No, they were not expelled from St. Kitts. They moved their operation to St. Lucia, where now their criminal enterprise is operating.
St. Lucia boy, Sui St. Lucia. Oh my goodness.
That's it. As a matter of fact, I know for a fact that after he was elected, Drew asked them if they wanted to be involved in the housing project. You are being so blinded by those propaganda websites. And I challenge any of those guys to come on this platform and I'll bring my evidence. They won't. Or if they want to sue me for defamation, go ahead.
You would never do something like that. You know why? Because if they sue you for defamation, that means you're still going to do the very thing that you would be doing if they came to your media thing, your media house, because you're exposing them anyways. It's just that in the court system, you will get to expose it more publicly.
So what happened?
You'll get to expose it on a legal point of view.
To Harris and to Galaxy and Yang Jing when they sue me for defamation. That gave me, to defend myself, all of your bank accounts. So I know now every time.
They can subpoena records. Yeah. That's why you use the system against them.
That you've taken from this country. So go ahead, challenge me, make my day. The Drew administration is doing everything they can to stop us to operate and recover our money. I'll give you an example. We don't have an escrow account to process application. I can tell you that our financier in the United States was in Nevis. He has at least 15, 20 applications that he wants to process, and we cannot, because for months and months and months, we asked the Drew administration to provide us a way to have an escrow account, and they're being silent. They play the game of the silent, trying to strangle us financially, which they're trying. So, the gloves are off. The people need to know that the companies that have sold the passport at half the price are going to be blacklisted.
That's exactly what should happen in Dominica.
I have irrefutable evidence that Philippe J. knows that Galaxy is doing the underselling.
I think Philippe J. is the previous Prime Minister. I think.
Friday, I filed an official document with the US Department of Justice. This document named 15 individuals and companies of St. Kitts and Nevis and St. Lucia. I have sent all the evidence proving their involvement in the fraud conducted by Caribbean Galaxy. This criminal network needs to be handled by an authority that has the power to end it.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yes, guys, that was truly something else. It might have been long when it comes down to discussion in that regard, but I think it's very vital for us to understand what is happening in the Caribbean, and I think it's also very vital for us to know what is taking place and what it means for Dominica itself as well. But anyways, guys, we have been running this thing for almost 2 hours now, but we're going to be wrapping up right there in that regard. Hopefully you guys understand what was taking place when it comes down to that situation. Kudos to this individual for definitely being one of the forces that was taking he wasn't taking no toys, brothers and sisters. He wasn't making no games, no jokes on that matter when it comes down to what is taking place with Caribbean corruption in the CBI. So I think that is something we need to understand, and most likely the people will rise up, man. Especially right now, we have CBI corruption, and now we have electoral reform problems. Boy, tell you, yes, sir. We have to wake up, If we do wake up, well, that's up to us. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts, man? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below about the situation right there. And of course, is this something new that you've seen or heard? But I think this is a revelation that keeps reopening our eyes over and over and over. It's just that we are lacking the action of it right there. Anyways, guys, what are your thoughts on the matter? Leave your thoughts in the comment box below, guys. This is pretty much you're pretty much all about what your boy has for this BRBP live interaction reaction. And of course, like any day before, guys, give this video a thumbs up if you've not done so yet. Subscribe and turn on that post notifications so you can get latest vibrations when they tend to come through. Of course, when I upload these videos right there. Once again, guys, be real, salute the king. Be real, be positive as well.